What's going on, Celtics Nation? It's your boy Wayne Breezy and the one and only CVP. We are back because the Celtics just went to Miami and they dropped bombs. That's right, Cliff. What's going on, baby?
What's up, baby? Listen, I was proud of my boys last night. They not only did they do it, that's why I changed my name to Triple OG today, man.
Triple OG.
Triple OG, because that's how we did it last night. We did not the triple. This is exactly how I wanted us to win a game, man. I don't know if I'm getting into it too quick, but man, this is exactly how I wanted us to win a game. We weren't that great from the three.
Okay.
But we still dominated.
Yeah, dang. We really weren't.
We were not that great from the three, but we dominated. That's something to take away. That's the most positive thing that I've seen, not only in the playoffs, this entire season. Do you see the ball movement and just the way we played together and we just dominated?
Yeah, it's key, man. I always say that Celtics basketball, even back from the 80s when I started watching it, was all about ball movement. It was all about when the ball moves, anybody can score at any given moment. It wasn't just about the superstars getting off. It was about the ball moving to the person that had the best percentage shot or the best opportunity to take the shot. So when the Celtics play that type of basketball, it's really hard to beat them because they're able to get back on transition and defense easily, right? And that's what you saw. To me, this was a defensive prowl. And the one thing that I noticed from the beginning of the game was the fact that the Boston Celtics was closing out on airspace. They were not going to get beat by the 3-point shot. They wanted you to take the three, but they weren't going to get beat by the three. Cliff, I saw them closing out on airspace. It wasn't even funny.
The way they did Hero was, and that's why I've been hard on Missoula, but what I saw last night was adjustments made by a coaching staff that had their finger on the pulse. They watched that tape and they said, "This is what we're going to do." They executed a game plan to perfection, and if you got the applause, I want to give Missoula his flowers because I've been hard on that dude, man. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I was so impressed from a coaching and adjustment standpoint that I was just when you text me last night, I was like, yo, I can go to bed happy. Like I can get me some. My boys showed out last night.
They did, and they 20-point lead. I mean, at one point they were up by 29 points in this game. I think I texted you. I said, man, they about to win this game by 30.
Yeah,
and they were. Like they were. But you spoke on something. You said that they were poor. They didn't shoot well from the three. They were 11 for 37, man, under 30% from the 3-point line.
And it concerned me in the beginning because even though we were up, we have given away some big leads, and it concerned me because we were shooting poorly in the beginning of the game. But then when I saw our defense, I was like, yo, we good. You notice the tones of my text changed.
Yeah.
Because once I saw the way we defended and the way we were dialed in, I still need to get more from Holiday. I don't know where that guy is.
I think I got a theory. We'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
I think I have a theory. Holiday is a matchup guy. There's nobody in this series that matches up that Holiday needs to match up well with. He's got to deal with the quicker, shiftier guy like a Tyler Hero. If Jimmy Butler was playing, you probably see more of a presence from Holiday because he'll be able to play more lockdown D and get more out in the open in the transition. And you're not getting that because he's got to run around. He's got to run around all these crazy ass screens from them being set for him to get around and get to Hero. So I think the issue, just to get back to the three, they did shoot poorly. I mean, Jaylen Brown was 0 for 4. Tatum was 2 for 7 at 28%. Kristaps Porzingis actually led. He was 3 for 5 with 60%. Porzingis, I keep telling y'all, Porzingis is the X factor, right? And I know Derek White they need Derek White to be Derek White. Right, and we're gonna
He
talk
was
about
Derek
that.
White last night.
Right, but he was also 2 for 7 from the three. I'm just gonna focus on the three. All right,
Oh, okay. Oh, well, okay. Okay.
Nah, Drew Holiday was 1 for 3. Peyton Pritchard shot 50%. He only took 2. Al Horford took 4. That's 25% because he was 1 for 4. And here's the kicker: Sam Hauser can't go 1 for 5 from the three. That's 20% from the 3 point. Like,
What did
if
I text you?
I know, I
I
know,
text you. I said Hauser looks cold to me,
he has
and this
to.
was in the very beginning of the game.
Well, he missed in the beginning, and then he hit that one, and I thought maybe he would heat up, but he was missing wide open threes.
Could the moment be too big for him? Possibly.
No. He just got to catch and shoot, bro. There's different types of three. Come on, Cliff. There are different types of 3 point shooters, right? Ray Allen. If you go back to, let's talk about some of the great 3 point shooters that were Celtics. If you go back to Ray Allen, what was Ray Allen's thing, right? He would set the screen. He could dribble once, pop, and shoot it. But he was a catch and shoot guy
He was
as
a
well.
catch and shoot.
Catch and shoot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was
Once
catch
you
and shoot.
put that ball on the floor, once it hits that hardwood paint, you mess up the rhythm of the catch and shoot. The screen is set, and you got to trust your shot. And I think Hauser puts the ball on the floor too many times. When he catches and shoots and he's not even thinking about it, because what is, I don't play basketball like you, but basketball is all about muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
And so he has the muscle memory to shoot. He just got to shoot. And I always say these guys got to just know their roles. His role ain't to put the ball on the floor, drive the ball to the basket, and try to. No, his job is to catch and shoot. And I think that's what throws him off his rhythm, and that's when he struggles from the three.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and there is some validity to that, but we can't summarily dismiss. I sound like Stephen A. We can't dismiss my initial statement. Like last night, he was missing stuff that he normally knocks down. Is
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Okay,
And
you're right.
and some of these shots he was catching in rhythm,
You're right.
and
You're
he
right.
bricked them. And a lot of them were bad misses. Like
He was also on the road, not his rim. And he's got to hit. I don't think. But the initial question you asked me was the moment too big for him, and
yes,
I don't think the moment's too big because he had a bad shooting night, and he's gonna have to shake it off. And if he comes back out in Miami and has a good shooting night, you get what I'm saying? So like,
yeah. We'll see.
and we'll see. But Sam Hauser, that's his role, man. His role is to catch and shoot. And if he continues to, he just got to put up the shots. He's 2 for 5 from the floor as well. But I want him catching and shooting from the three. I mean, that's his role. But that also comes with great ball movement. And so when the ball is moving around and he's getting that shot in that rhythm, normally it goes on. Now, listen, we're not here to badmouth or badger the Celtics too much because they had a great game plan. And you started that, and I want to talk a little bit more about Joe Mazzulla because I said to you, the issue with Joe Mazzulla was him being able to adjust. You know what I'm saying? And if Joe Mazzulla is finally understanding the adjustment part of the game in the playoffs, which is a little bit different. If he's finally starting to understand the adjustment part, and what I mean by that is they got beat by 11 at home. You said that was a slap in the face or punch in the mouth, a wake-up call, to be honest. And I think it woke Joe up. And I want you to talk about what you saw Joe do how he made those adjustments. You know what I'm saying?
What I saw in the very beginning when Hero had the ball and he was running through a pick, and I don't know who his defender was, but when I saw how Hero gets that last, like in the last game, he would get that split second where he can get that shot off, wasn't happening. Somebody was popping, they were moving in space. It was an amazing thing to watch. And that when I told you, I couldn't really understand what defense we were running because it did look helter skelter, but at the same time, it looked like controlled chaos because I think we matched them on the 3 point line.
The perimeter.
And the thing that stuck with me the most, and it's very it's, I don't know the word I want to use, but the thing that really resonated with me was how defensively they had each other's back. If I got caught in the pick, somebody's flashing.
Right.
I'm not leaving you out in the weeds.
Right.
Even on the weak side, it's like I'm not leaving you out in the weeds. No man left behind type of defense that we played. We play like that. Nobody, not even Denver, got nothing for us, man. Nothing for us. Last night we were the best team in the NBA by far.
And it showed. It showed because we're gonna go over the breakdown of the points scored, and it was super. It was almost like rhythm, like balanced is the word I'm looking for. It was almost balanced. You had 22, 22, 18, 16 from your starters. So, and here's the thing: if the Celtics starters get into double digits, you're not beating the Celtics. If the Celtics starters are scoring in their double digits like they're supposed to, you're not beating the starters. And
No,
like you said, if you can get a little bit more production from Drew, he's taking those threes. If he's hitting those threes, I think he went 2 for 5, 2 for 7. If
yep.
he's hitting those threes, that changes his point trajectory big time. He's 1 for 5 from the floor. He was 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. So he went 1 for. So he shot 33%. But he only finished with what? 3 points. He only finished with 3 points because he hit that one. He couldn't have finished with 3 points, right?
Oh, Holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished with 3 points.
How he finished with 3 points?
Yo, Holiday stats got to go up. I'm sorry, man.
Well,
This line is sad.
so help me understand this. Oh, because he went 1 for 5 from the floor, right? So he
Yeah,
only hit the three.
he
Yeah,
only
yeah,
hit the
yeah,
three.
yeah. He only hit the three. Yeah, man. But he's a plus 23 on the court, bro.
I get the numbers, but like
He's
I'm
there for defense and and rebounding and getting the ball out. I mean, he finished the game with 2 rebounds,
he had
but
2 rebounds. He
but
had
he's
6 assists. I mean, I don't know if that's something
which
to
is
take.
crazy because I don't think Holiday's a traditional point guard,
No, no.
but he
He's a
has to play
utility
it.
knife. He's what is he 6'4"?
Yes, they both of them, Derek White and Drew Holiday, 6'4", and so like they're point guards, but they have to they play the two. I don't know. They're weird, but they work. They fit. They work for the Celtics. Like they
But just hear me out. I know everybody want me to let the Smart thing go. All right. I saw Marcus Smart in person his
okay.
first year. All right. I'm 6'3".
He's
He's
six
literally.
four. I think Smart was 6'4" too, right?
I think that's being kind because I'm me and him was the exact same size. Like
Oh, okay.
I I I I think 6'4" is generous. The only takeaway from Smart is Smart had an innate ability for his size, which Draymond Green, who's 3 inches taller than him, but still, Smart had a way of effectively defending 1 through 4.
Yeah, but that comes from I don't know. That to me that comes from like the way you grew up playing basketball because I know he's a point guard, but he played bigger and he knew how to defend the 1 through 4. And there was even times he would defend the 5. So you could say 1 through 5 depending on if they went smaller lineup or whatever like that. But Smart just knew how to use his weight, how to use his balance, how to use their weight against them, how to force them. Like that's a gift. Like that's a gift and a craft that he worked on. Derek White is a different type of defender though. Like Derek White is more like you couldn't power body. Marcus Smart was built like a little pit bull.
Yeah, yeah,
Derek White is built a little bit different. But you know what he does? He finishes out on the play. So
yeah.
the moment you get by him, he's blocking your shot.
Yes.
That's a gift.
Or he's tapping it on when you put it on the floor.
That's a gift, bro. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
defend differently.
But I'm talking about the contrast to Smart and Holiday, and just hear me out.
They defend differently too, though, because
Yeah,
Holiday's
but
looking to pick the ball. See, I think Holiday's a smarter player than Marcus Smart. It's funny, right? No pun intended.
yeah.
But he's not as tough as Marcus Smart. Like he doesn't have the same grit. He's
And looking
built.
at these numbers, he's not as skilled as Marcus Smart offensively either.
Um, I,
Marcus Smart would give you a three when you least suspect, but he would never mind. He would hurl up threes that would make me want to break my damn TV
there you
set. So
go.
let's just
So
take it
like,
back.
so to say that I think Drew Holiday is a smarter player, as far as what's the word? I just think Drew Holiday is a smarter player, as far as just be a basketball player. Just he's just all around. Because don't let's not act like Drew. You know what I think it is. You know what I think it is, and this is my theory. I said I had a theory. I think Drew Holiday realizes that like he not trying to be a guy, but if he had to be a guy, he could step up and get you the buckets because Drew could get to the paint. Drew got the dribble. Drew could finish around the rim. Smart couldn't finish around the rim like Drew could finish around the rim.
No.
But Smart had the urgency to pull up, to shoot the shot, and if he was hot, you weren't stopping Marcus Smart. Drew Holiday to me says, "This ain't my team. This is Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum's team. I'm here to assist them." And I think that's what makes him a better player, and that's why his production is probably relatively low. I think in the next matchup, like if we got to play the Bucks or whoever we get next or whatever, you'll see, or if the Knicks, whoever we get next, you're gonna see a different utilage of Drew Holiday because he's gonna have to play different
Yo,
depending
who do
on.
we got next?
I can't figure it out.
I want the Bucks because, and I'm only saying this because we're gonna beat
I
whoever. We're
think
gonna
we
beat
get the Bucks
whoever.
Indy next. We get the Bucks Indy next, I
Well,
believe. And then
I don't know if you read over the waiver wire. I know we're supposed to be talking about Celtics, but this is relevant if we're playing them next.
yeah,
Dame
Damian.
does what Dame always does.
Yeah, but he got hurt.
Yeah, but he's always getting hurt.
Yeah, but this is an injury that may cause him to miss the next game.
Cause him missing this game.
Yeah.
Yo, I read the article where he was in the game merely as a decoy.
Oh, that's crazy.
But you know this is I don't want. That's why I'm glad that we have Missoula and we don't have Doc Rivers.
There you
When it,
go.
when when there were rumblings of trying to get Doc, I am so glad we have Missoula. Missoula would never. He's. I will give him this, and it used to annoy me about him, but I appreciate it so much now that I see other coaches speaking out against their players. Missoula is just like straight face on some Kobe. Like what?
He's
Okay.
different. He got the mentality,
He
right?
got the Cobra. He looking at the press like, yo, y'all know I'm here because they making me. All right, so make it quick so I can get out of here. Doc wants to tell all their business. Doc said out of his mouth, and you can look this up. He said, Dame said to him, "I think it's my Achilles acting up again, but leave me in the game because I can be a decoy." What coach would say that in the middle of your series? Come on, man.
Look, Coach Joe, not only did he make like adjustments to bounce back from the loss in Boston, they came out there with a game plan. His game plan was to remain aggressive. So we got aggressive, I think, for all 48 minutes of this game. Even when the bench came in, they stayed and remained aggressive. I mean, look, we won this game by 20 points. But I think the thing that I like for Joe is when he got what he needs to get out there on that basketball court, he will put them in the game. My boy Luke Cornett was available. I didn't think he was going to be available till after some time in May, like next week,
That's
possibly.
a good thing, though, man.
It's not a good thing. It's a great
It's
thing.
a great thing.
Because you get another rim protector, another guy that could get down and get easy buckets at the rim, a guy that can float in the air and get you easy buckets in transition. And believe it or not, man, you get some length on the basketball court to put the hands up to affect certain types of shots. Kristaps Porzingis got 2 early fouls in this game. Coach Mazzulla made that adjustment so fast it wasn't even and see. If you go back to game 2, there was no Cornette. And so when Porzingis got into that foul trouble, I mean, he had to really kind of figure out who to kind of like put in that game. That's why I said, hey, man, put in the rookie, put in the young kid, put somebody in. Like, because you got to savor Al Horford, man. His minutes are priceless, right? Like, you need him to be Al. You can't overextend him anymore because he's 37 years old. Having Luke out there, I thought was a breath of fresh air, and his availability allowed Coach to get to make the proper adjustment. So I know I'm always hard on Coach Mazzulla when it comes to adjusting, but sometimes maybe he just didn't have the right pieces and he was just working what he got. But Cornette came in, and I don't care. He only played 5 minutes and 20 seconds. He didn't score. He didn't do anything. He did make a couple of free throws, right? It doesn't matter. It gave them a different look. It gave guys a breather, and it allowed them to stick with that game plan. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Kristaps Porzingis finished with 18 points. He was 5 for 9 from the floor, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. All right, he was 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Kristaps Porzingis was the #1 free throw percentage shooter, the #1 3-point percentage shooter, and he was almost the #1 field goal percentage shooter under Peyton Pritchard. Right, so.
Mm-hmm.
Kristaps Porzingis can't ever get into foul trouble, I'm starting to realize, because you need his length and his skill set on the daggone basketball court. He also had 1 offensive rebound, 4 defensive rebounds, a total of 5, 2 assists, a steal, 2 block shots. Kristaps Porzingis, bro. Kristaps Porzingis, and you just to dial back a little bit about my boy Drew. Drew had 2 block shots as well. This is what I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, he's not there to just score. They have the scoring. He can score. I like it when he's the utility knife. That's the perfect way. But Kristaps, man, I thought was, a person that the Celtics need night in and night out if they're going to go ahead and compete for this NBA playoffs final.
No, you're right. And bringing it down and back a little bit. The Cornet dynamic, I never thought about that until you said something. I never really thought about that for game 2. That never really dawned on me. That is a good point that you bring up. Shame on me for not really noticing his absence. But that is a very good point. Something else you said about Drew Holiday is the block shots. That's very important. For me, because when you really think about it, and I'm going back on my original statement, but I have a right, to reflect and say that maybe
100%.
my perspective is messed up. Because when you look at the top of the scoring, we got scorers. We don't necessarily need Drew to score. Like I'm looking at his points, but that's not what we need from him anyway.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We need him to do pretty much exactly what he's doing now that I'm looking at the whole breakdown. I think he's right in the place and doing, and I think it's been a discussion probably. I think Missoula probably told him, listen, man.
That's you taking the words right out of my mouth, bro. Keep going, bro. I promise you that's the conversation.
That's the conversation.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes sense. That because listen, I understand Drew's getting a little older, but he ain't that old. And when he's with Milwaukee, when he had to be the guy, he was the guy.
He was the guy. He was that guy.
But in Boston, he don't have to be the guy.
No, he really doesn't.
He's not the 6th man off the bench. He's the starting point guard for the Boston Celtics. He waived his player option. They signed him to a deal, and they signed him to not be the guy. You know why they signed Drew Holiday, bro? Because he's one of the only people that enables Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. Let me make that clear, because you do know what an enabler is, right? It means he is the one that activates these guys for them to have their best games night in and night out, because he doesn't have to be the guy. He was already the guy when he needed to be the guy. The issue is when Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, if they have a bad game, expect Drew Holiday to make something happen. That's when the button is activated. I promise you. I know we haven't seen it.
It's plausible. It's very plausible. I can see that.
And I know we haven't seen it because we don't need to see it, because the way Missoula rotates his guys, Tatum's been the best player in this series. I'm sorry. He's been, and I know we need more. I know we need to see the whatever. Tatum is attacking the basket. We're going to get to Jayson Tatum. We're going to end this with Jayson Tatum. I know we need to, we're looking for a different aspect of Jayson Tatum. Bro, it's round 1. They're the 8th seed, and the Celtics just got to come out there and do their damn thing like they normally do. And they've beaten this team all season long. I mean, Miami's only win was the other night against this team, and this is when they had Butler.
That was an anomaly,
bro. They shot almost 60% from the 3-point line, and I just told people that will never ever happen again. Okay, it was never going to happen again, and it started by the Celtics and Coach Missoula making those defensive adjustments. Listen, y'all got to get out there on that perimeter. Y'all got to be quicker on those rotations. I don't care if they screen you, run around that screen, fight through the screen, put the hand up, put a middle finger in their face, do whatever you got to do to defend that shot. And that's what they did because Miami couldn't get off. The other players, I want to talk about some of the other players. I talked a little bit about Kristaps Porzingis. Give me another player that you thought had showed up.
I I and I know. I mean, I was particularly out of everybody. I was impressed with Derek White.
Yeah, yeah,
He redeemed himself. He had a horrible game too,
yeah,
and
yeah.
last night he played with purpose. He played like he played like he had an agenda to remind you, who I am and why they got me here. He did all the things that's expected of someone of Derek of his skill set. He was really he was impressive. Out of everybody, he was the guy that really stuck out to me. He was all over the place. He was disruptive on defense, and I mean, he was he was moving his Derek White was moving his feet like textbook like a textbook defender. I mean, I just was impressed with him. That's and I mean his stat line: 5 rebounds. Now I always thought that there was no defined point guard. I know that they say, but Derek White strikes me as more of the point guard.
Okay,
Um,
yes, yes. Which I'm surprised they have him as the two in the lineup, in the starting lineup. But you're right. Derek White does seem more of the point guard type. I wonder if it's a matchup thing though.
I don't know, but I know last night he was doing his thing. 3 assists. I mean, Tatum had well, we're not on Tatum yet, but Tatum had the most assists, which is
Well,
really
he
really.
he tied with Drew Holiday. See, these are the things I'm talking about. Drew Holiday tied for number one in
Oh
blocks
yeah.
and
That's right.
assists.
Right. Yep, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But
but
but like I said, Derek White stood out with me. I just want to make a point before I forget about it because something I was wanting to tell you about. You had mentioned Pritchard maybe a few games
yeah,
back.
that was gonna be mine. That's the guy I'm gonna talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah. This still is not proven to be a good series for him. Um,
that that's fine, but I'm gonna tell you what I liked about it. About him.
okay, all right, but it's still proven not to be a good. Well, it can be, but what he needs to understand is all those little slick baskets he got in the bing down in the paint. This is the playoffs. That's not you're 5'10". That's not happening, bro.
Talk about it. Talk
You got to
about it.
find another way. And that's the only knock I have on him. He needs to understand that the game has changed. They ready for you. You
Yeah.
not going down there doing that. No, not now. So you have to figure out another way. When that part of your game is taken away, you have to figure out a way to adjust. And that's all I would say to Pritchard. He's still a great player. Um, he provides a certain energy off the bench that you can't quantify. But at the same time, he needs to understand that when you got to figure out another way. That's all I would say about him. I mean, 7 points, 3 rebounds. I mean, his stat line is decent for what it's worth.
Listen, just to piggyback off you about Derek White. Derek White went 7 for 14, shot 50% from the floor, 2 for 7 from the three, 28.6%. But Derek White, you said something about him being just all over the floor. I mean, I think it was a Jayson Tatum free throw miss, and he had the putback, so it was like a 4 point play.
Yes,
Like
yes,
like
yes.
I can't even say the old way. Like that typically doesn't happen. But the
Nah.
fact that he got the and it was a dunk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the fact
Yeah.
that he came in untouched, unscathered, and dunked that joint to get the rebound. So he gets the rebound and the 2 points off of that. Derek White finished with 16 points, and you need your guy. If he's the shooting guard, you need him to be able, or point guard, whatever position they got him lined up at, he's got to find a way to continue to find ways to get off. Because Derek White, man, is probably more efficient. One of the more efficient players for the Boston Celtics. He needs to be able to shoot his 3 point shot. He's able to attack the rim. They didn't foul him, which is weird to me because he usually gets the foul calls because he did drive to the paint numerous amounts of times. And there was a time he got hit in the face and they didn't call. But anyway, it's the playoffs. Got to man up. Shout out to Derek White for manning up. But now they get to Peyton Pritchard. Listen, this is why I say, for me, Peyton Pritchard played 25 minutes. 25 minutes and 25 seconds. That's to me, that's a considerable amount of time for Peyton Pritchard, but this is letting me know he's that sixth man, right? And so when Pritchard's on the floor, it was a +6. Now, here's the thing for Peyton Pritchard. I just need him to be aggressive always and shoot your shot. Like you can't come. Game 2 he came in the game timid, and it was like he didn't really know what to do. Like he didn't know if he should shoot. He didn't know if he should drive. And like you said, the only issue to me with Pritchard is he's gonna be able to get by everybody. He has the dribble, the speed, and the size. The issue is when he gets down to when he gets on that baseline and he gets down underneath the rim, he went out of bounds on one of those plays and forced a turnover. And I was like, dude, you don't know that they gonna like you can't live there like you did in the regular season
No,
because it's in the scouting report. So kick the ball back out. You know what I'm saying? He's got to look for a pass. Or I need Peyton Pritchard's oh my gosh, I can't IQ to dial up a tad bit more. He's a great player when he's on from the three. He's on from the three, right? But finishing inside against these bigs and everybody's got size on them, it's 9 times out of 10 probably not going to happen. If he's the drive and dish guy for the Boston Celtics, then be the drive and dish guy. I don't care if he drives all the way to the basket. Make sure you know your lane and kicking that joint back out because somebody's going to be wide open. They're going to crash on you, and you're going to have 2 to 3 people options wide open. I need to see more of that vision from Peyton Pritchard, but he was the spark. He came in the game. Defensively, he helped out. He had 3 rebounds. He had 1 assist, but he did have 2 turnovers. And before we move on, I do want to focus on the Celtics not turning the ball over. 5 turnovers this whole game. This may have been one of the lowest turnover games from the Boston Celtics we've ever seen. And they also went to the free throw line 21 times. They shot 71.4%, 15 for 21 from the free throw. And so they got to be better at that because Jaylen Brown missed, Tatum missed 4. Like, you can't miss your free throws. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like those are gimmies.
those are yes, yeah, most definitely. Speaking of that Pritchard play, I remember thinking to myself, if we didn't have such a big lead, that would have pissed me off. That would have made me very, very angry.
It
Because
pissed me off.
he had options. He didn't even have to go baseline like that. He had there was nobody behind him. He could have brought it back out. So those heroics, those heroics got it. You're right. Those heroics they were cute. They got to stop.
And so, for the people that are watching the show, make sure you like this joint. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Shout out to everybody that watched the last reaction, Cliff. The engagement from that, I know it was just so amazing. You should read some of the comments that we were getting. It was so amazing.
Well, offline, I gotta find the show. I can't see the replay.
I got you. So I was just more like, you know. I know people are like, dang, they talk about their players. We absolutely do. This is all about constructive criticism and getting better. I don't care if we win by 9.
We love the Celtics. Who else are we going to talk about?
Yeah, and I don't care if we drop. We win by 90. We should have won by 100. Like, I'm that type of coach. Like, if you could have won by 90, you could have won by 100. So there's always rooms for improvement. Let's get to Jayson Tatum, and then we'll get to our player of the game, and then we'll do a quick preview to the next game. Jayson Tatum finished with a double-double. And the reason why I said he was the best player on the basketball court, Cliff, is just the simple fact that he, to me, was the reason why the Celtics lead was sustainable. He knew how to insert himself. I mean, he went 6 for 16, 2 for 7 from the 3, and 8 for 12 from free throw line. But dude finished with 11 rebounds again. All right. And it's just, for me, it's just like, okay, Tatum, I see the way you're asserting yourself, but the 12 attempts from the free throw line is dope because he's the player that usually doesn't get the foul calls, right? And now you're seeing a more aggressive Tatum trying to drive to the basket. If I had to put my knock on Tatum, he has to take better 3-point attempts. To me, that's his only issue. It's the 3-point attempts that he takes. They be so difficult to where he needs to just he needs to be in his rhythm as well. And I'm not saying he can't stop, pull up, and shoot the 3. That's part of his game. I'm not saying that. It's the dribble,
and then pop. Yo, I saw it was a textbook play, and I'm thinking about how I could get NBA replays so I could really, really get my point across. when he stands flat foot and he's going back and forth, he's not going to drive to the basket. And if I can see it, I'm sure that Spoelstra and the whole coaching staff sees it. And then he steps back. Now, when he's hot, you can't stop it anyway.
Facts.
So I mean,
But he's got to be like the fire got to be lit, like
yeah,
because
yeah.
Tatum, in my opinion, could drop 30 a night easily. In the playoffs.
But a great team, as we talked about with Drew Holiday, a great team is having all of those that understand their role.
I understand. Right.
Within this, and there's certain things that we're not going to need from you this series that we may need from you the next series. And that goes for Tatum too. Like, you know what I mean?
Everybody got to play their role. My bad, but it's not about him like just being the leading scorer. I'm just saying if he took better percentage shots, because all right, to my defense, he shot 16. He had 16 attempts, second most on the team. Right?
That's
16.
not hot though.
But my point is, if some of those attempts were better attempts,
yes,
I'm not mad at the attempts, but I think some of his shots are difficult. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, you saw that 2-pointer that he was leaning, his body was all distorted. I was like, yo, it was fire to look at, but it's the playoffs, baby.
Like if it would have went in, I'd have been like, yo, that was nice.
Yo, listen. But we need high percentage shots, bro. We need high percentage shots, man.
And to me, I'm not saying that like the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. If you ask me how I know, it's because they motherfucking record says so.
That's
it. I mean, they got to
won the East by 14 games.
They got to still beat the defending champs. But we talk about 2024 basketball, and the Celtics are the best team in the NBA for the regular season, hands down. If they want to remain the best team, though, they got to play better IQ basketball. And to me, if they get beat, it's because they're not playing smart basketball.
Oh, these are facts. But here's the thing: when we talk about the West, all right,
different monster.
It's a different monster. But we're assuming that Denver's going to be there. Now, we're not talking about Denver, but I just got to make this point.
Oh, good.
We're assuming that Denver's going to be there. But you watched that game last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Denver got a lot of holes, too. Denver's got to get by. The West is the jungle. You understand?
We
pretty much got it. I'm telling you, we're going to make whoever's next. I believe that this is our hardest test right here.
No, I think the Knicks would be the hardest challenge if we have to play the Knicks. They just like all Nats. They don't give up. They fire. They just have a bunch of energy. They got a crazy bench, and you know who their coach is?
Tibbs.
And that's a defensive monster. And so when I look at the Knicks, I think the Celtics don't match up the best. The Knicks Celtics matchup is last year's Miami Celtics matchup. That's the problem I feel like we're gonna get, because you know Jalen Brunson, his little ass gonna try to go off for 40 a night, and it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop it. The question is, if we have to play the Knicks, can you stop the rest of those players that play with that same type of energy, that same type of hardness, that same type of grit? Because they'll get you. They got players, and I can't remember the regular season record against the Knicks this year, but they were tough on us. Even after they got rid of Shipley, Isaiah Quickly. Sorry, even after they got rid of Quickly. And so, like, they're always going to remain tough. It's the Knicks Celtics. I think the NBA would love to see that in the NBA Finals, by the way.
Eastern Conference Finals. But
Conference Finals, my bad, yes.
But you got to think. I text you, we need a dog.
I think our dogs are they're different. Okay, that's a good question.
They're not barking dogs, but they dogs.
They dogs. Yeah. It's different.
They just stand there.
Like Jayson Tatum is the St. Bernard dog. Like if he cool, he there to aid you, he there to help you, but don't get it twisted. He big as he'll F you up.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
They're different type of dog. And to me, you know what? We got to do an episode on the dogs. Jaylen Brown, he the German Shepherd. Like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
German Shepherd. Like
yeah.
they got dogs.
But he was attacking last night, man. He
That's
was
all. I need him to do
yo
that every game. Every game.
every
I don't.
game.
Every game. 11 for 20, 55% from the floor, bro. I know he was 0 for 4 from the 3, and that's okay. He's gonna have his bad shooting nights where he's not gonna be on. It happens. But he kept attacking.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
that's what you say every single game. If the 3 ain't falling, attack the
Attack.
basket.
That's what, and that's my motto. That's what I live by. You can't go wrong with that. But the basics, the foundation, the foundational principles is the things like you can't coach drop back threes, and I mean, I guess you can work on people's shooting motions and all that, but the things that you can control with every single player on the bench, take a page from Dennis Rodman, take a page from Big Ben. These guys had the ultimate hustle. They defended. Everybody can be taught to be a decent defender. I don't care
I
who you
agree.
are. You just
I
have to
agree.
be willing to do that.
I agree.
Um, um, and hustle points. That how we you hustle, hustle, hustle. You get if you can get your players dialed into that ideology or that mindset, you got a shot. I don't give a damn who you play. And it's just and the thing of it is that's just pure basketball. I remember some one of the might have been Bradley Bill or somebody was talking to young kids, and he said that to them. He said, "Let me tell you something. You want to play in this league? Learn how to defend. Learn how to be the ultimate defender, the ultimate utility guy. That will get you looked at because this is everybody wants to be pretty,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I love about the Celtics. We can win ugly, baby.
And just to go full circle before I get your player of the game, to go full circle, bro, you talked about Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, when he was drafted, wasn't brought here to score.
No,
He was brought here to do what?
he was put
Defend.
defend and beat a muscle.
And from his defense, he learned how to defend 1 through 5. Look at the team he came into. Look at the players he was around. So he learned how to defend the 1 through 5. And then he realized he wanted to get that scoring aspect back into his game. So he tried to work on his 3-point shot. He could finish at the rim. It's not like he would miss at the rim. He just needed to be more aggressive and take the shots to the rim. But that's why he was such a defensive proud. And before Marcus Smart, remember Avery Bradley was the defender.
Oh,
And then he
oh,
learned how to shoot. And then
I
before him,
love man.
it
I
was
love Avery Bradley.
remember Tony Allen?
Tony Allen.
Okay,
Did,
so
did
don't
he come to us? He came to us after Memphis, or did he come to us
no,
before Memphis?
we drafted him.
We drafted him.
Yeah, we turned him into a defensive prow. He didn't learn how to shoot till after he left the Celtics
And went to Memphis.
and went to
Now
Memphis.
he was a bona fide 6'3", 6'4" guy.
Yeah, but my point is that is always. I mean, unless the NBA is changing, like how we see the NFL, they want to get back to scoring, so they get all these rules for the quarterbacks and all that type of stuff. Unless the NBA is changing because that 3-point shot is like selling seats out. I mean, that's what the Celtics usually used to do. They used to draft these players, and if you wanted to get on that basketball court, you better have been the best you better make a defensive play, and that mindset will make you just last so much longer in the NBA, because if you are a scorer, you're going to naturally be able to score. And we go back to the role. I don't know if we have that player here. I like OJ O'Shea Brissett. I do like him.
I think he needs to be utilized more.
I just feel like Joe ain't messing up that lineup, man. He's gonna keep that lineup to that 8-man. He had a 9-man rotation. I mean, they played a couple of minutes toward the end of the game because it was over last night, but he ain't touching that lineup unless there's a foul trouble situation, and having O'Shea there will enable them because he is the attacker. He is a guy that's going to hustle. He's a guy that can shoot his shot. He's a guy that's going to give the Celtics some energy because when he get on the court, he going to sit there and make sure that the game continues to flow. Who is your player of the game, man?
All right, my player of the game is a It's a rough.
Only pick one. Don't give me no betweens and in-betweens because I got to
I'm,
pick one too.
I might be biased because I feel like he redeemed himself from game 2, but my player of the game is White.
Okay. Okay. And we talked about Derek White, man. I thought Derek White had a great game, man. Round of applause to Derek White. I felt like Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown did what they were supposed to do. I thought Kristaps Porzingis had a worse game than Derek White in game 2. So he was my player of the game in game 3 because he didn't allow, before he got those 2 fouls and had to come out, he had already had like 5-6 points. Like but the prior game, he couldn't score. He couldn't hit a barn. So when he's on, man, good luck beating the Boston Celtics. So my player of the game is Kristaps Porzingis. All right, man, our next game up is Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cliff, I want your take on this real quick. I'm going to try my hardest to find out the Celtics record when playing on TNT this year.
Oh shit, that's right. We back. Yeah, we was on. We was on TNT last night.
And we lost that game. Remember?
We were on TNT last night.
Was it? It was TNT last night.
We were on TNT and then it went to ESPN. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but if Mazzulla is, I'm giving this guy credit. I mean, he showed me last night that we got something. Like he can coach because he covered. It wasn't just adjustments. He covered a whole game plan. He righted all the wrongs, basically, except for that shit Pritchard was doing. But let me explain something to you, Mazzulla. If you stumble across this podcast, I'm gonna be like Stephen A. Put that camera right on me. No, listen.
Hold up.
If you stumble across this podcast, listen to me. These guys, they need to jump out and they need to break their will from the beginning. All right. And if you want to use anything as bulletin board material, you had a man in Afro puffs talking about they're gonna take us out,
bro. No, don't stop. Keep going.
No, I'm saying you got. That's all you need. You have a man that had 2 fresh Afro puffs. All right, I used to give my daughters Afro puffs when they were in kindergarten. This is a grown ass man with 2 Afro puffs talking about he gonna take you out. What you gonna do with that? That's what I'm not going X's and O's and nothing. I'm gonna show a picture of Jimmy. I'm gonna play what he said. What y'all gonna do about it? Break their will in the first quarter. Let them know that they don't belong on the court with you all. We won the East by 14 games. All right. Break these guys' will and let them start looking at where they going on vacation by halftime on Monday.
All I'm going to say is Celtics will win this series 4-1, and that should sum it up. What they're going to do on Monday night. I think you said it best, bro. When I saw that man Jimmy Butler, who ain't even playing, and I listen. I'm not mad that he believes in his team, but that junk hit a different stroke. And I don't know what Celtic players. I know they didn't hear it in game, but I guarantee it. That clip is being played in that locker room. I could guarantee it, like it's a brand name, like Pepsi, a brand name. That dude's picture is hanging up somewhere, and they are going to. They're gonna remind them that even with this dude, y'all couldn't beat us in 2024. So I tell you what, 2023, 2024 season. So I tell you what, Celtics will do what they need to do in Miami. Get out there with that dub, bring that junk back home to Boston, and be on their way to round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man, to the Celtics Green Podcast. We're your hosts, Wayne Breezy and Triple OG CVP. Man, we'll be back for that game reaction on Monday night. Make sure you guys tune in. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you love what you see, man, support the channel, subscribe. We out this Jones, man. Peace out.